Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. Thanks so much for joining me. Today, we're going to do a 5-minute Friday that's kind of a continuation onwards from a topic that we covered a few weeks ago. So back then, essentially, we covered 2 of the main mistakes that nearly every photographer makes within their retouching that they should always try and avoid. And seeing as though you guys thought that was great, theoretically, I thought, why not expand on that a little bit? So I'm going to continue along, kind of like in a mini series, I guess, and therefore this is part 2. If you're new here, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the bell icon. The bell icon will help you out because it'll give you notification every single time we release a YouTube video, which is every single week on a Friday at 12 noon, on a Friday at 12 noon, which I've just said. So I've said it again to drive it home. Please do join me in the future. I am Jessica McGovern, international multi-award winning portrait photographer, Judgy McJudgeson, with the alter ego of Picky Patricia. And so these little things that I'm going through are things that I see personally all of the time, whether that's through judging, whether it's through critiquing, whether it's through one-to-one education, whether it's just perusing the social media accounts on the internet. It's really, really common, and it's so frustrating because it's so easy to avoid. So without further ado, let's put 5 minutes on the clock and get stuck in. On my screen, you can see the gorgeous, freaking drop dead gorgeous Nala. So this is Nala. She is absolutely beautiful. We will all hopefully agree with this. Now, this issue that I'm discussing today tends to come about after you finish your retouching, okay, right at the end. Always tends to happen at the end. However, if you use bought action packs, aka actions that you've bought off of the internet from another photographer, then you will probably be inadvertently multiplying this problem with most of those actions that you press, okay? Stick with me here, stick with me. It's important stuff. This is important stuff. So we can see Nala's here. She sat on a pathway in Italy, okay? So this was shot over at the Pet Photographers Retreat where I was teaching in Italy. Nala was one of our dog models for one of the classes, and I shot this shot down a alleyway. I've gone with an autumnal edit because I felt it was appropriate, and I finished this edit off with my usual sharpening procedure, which, if we go into 100% zoom, leaves us here. Now, this for me is already borderline. We're borderline on the problem that we're going to discuss. And the problem that we're discussing today is over sharpening. Over sharpening is sharpening on some form of a kind of express service to disaster. Okay, if you look at a photograph and think that looks like somebody has sprayed hairspray all over the subject, especially if it's an animal, then the chances are that image is so over sharpened it's painful. Now for me, if I look at this and zoom in even further, we're now at 225%, so a little bit of leeway given on that. You can see that these hairs up here are almost looking, and here too, like we've given them a good dose of the L-Net hairspray, but this is kind of my absolute top level of sharpening, okay? And if we go back to 100%, I'm going to go in a little bit more just for you guys because you might not have a super big screen. So I'm going to go into 150%-ish. I want to show you what I see most frequently, okay? I see this. Now, from zoomed out, wide, this doesn't look bad. In fact, it looks fine. It looks actually appropriately sharpened. However, it's not real because we need to go into the actual pixel level. And even at 100%, this looks like I've gone and thrown so much hairspray on it, it's painful. If we go in further, you can see that we have almost like pixel breakdown. The pixel breakdown is happening and we have this kind of horrendously sharp edge situation. This is over sharpened. This is not good. This is bad. If this image was submitted into an awards competition or was printed large, the image would look horrendous. Okay, it would look horrendous. It would never win purely because it's over sharpened. But this isn't even as bad as you can get because on a well-known action pack creator, okay, I'm not going to name any names, but on their action pack, there is a sharpening action. And most people are going to go ahead and leave this on 100. That leaves you here. So let's go for a before and after on that. That's the already horrendously over sharpened one. This is that action on full power. Can you see how that's gone wrong? I'm really hoping you can see how that's gone wrong. We even have haloing introduced around the edges. That's the level of sharpening that we've got to. The whole dog looks like it was dipped in hairspray and left out to solidify in the sunshine. It's not a good look, guys. This is a major, major error. So if we revert back to where I was, mine now looks like super soft by comparison. And even mine was verging on over sharpened in places. So if we deviate between what most photographers are outputting at the moment, which is this one, which is the over sharpened version, and mine looks soft as a pancake, but mine's actually almost over sharpened in itself. So that's why I really wanted to cover this off today. Sharpening is perfect. You want to do it, give it a little bit of a kiss at the end of your retouching, 100%, but don't crank it all the way up. Don't do it. Keep it subtle, and if you can, try and mask it and apply it only to the areas that you really want the viewer to look at. So in this case with this subject, it's just going to be the eyes, maybe the tongue as well, because it's kind of adorable. But you want to keep it really specific on those areas and get rid of it everywhere else. You don't need the floor sharpening to the nth degree, okay? You don't need it. It just doesn't need to be done. So always go in with a less is more approach. Less is more, lighter, gentle, be careful, be accountable to what you're doing to the image. You want to end up with something that just looks great, looks natural. You don't want to overcook it. So hold back on the hairspray, please, guys. This is the, I guess, the third major retouching error that pretty much every photographer makes. Just lighter touch, gentle. Be a gentle retoucher. But I mean, you can still do crazy things and go from our proverbial before to after, which I will show you, because why not? So that's the before and that's the after. I wouldn't particularly say that was a gentle touch, but the sharpening, the finishing tweaks, gentle. Okay, hopefully that was useful. Are you a culprit of over sharpening? Do you put that hairspray on a little bit too hot sometimes? If you do, that's fine, because you at least accept that you do, and that's okay, because I feel like the first step to improving is recognizing that we have a problem. So hopefully this has helped. Really looking forward to seeing your images. Gentle on the sharpening, gentle. I'll see you back next week for another 5-Minute Friday.